We're talking about the 7 landmines in retirement. First of all, many people may not know what that means,
Yeah.
but you're here to elaborate. Tell me more.
Yes. Many people step on these things and they lose a big chunk of their retirement to that mistake. My mom was one of those people. The first landmine that we got to avoid is excessive fees. My mom, when my dad had passed away, at the young age of 45, she got this life insurance death benefit, and this whole situation happened where she had gone down to a local financial advisor who went to her church and trusted her with her hard-earned retirement savings. And this advisor put it in like the highest fee-based options there were. And I remember looking at my mom's statement and I couldn't believe my eyes. All that interest that she had earned that quarter went completely to advisor fees. And that really frustrated me because she's not growing, right? She's got to grow her money. Inflation is very real. So the first landmine you've got to avoid is excess fees. This is going to blow your mind, okay? There was an article by nerdwallet.com and they said that the average American will spend over $1.1 million in fees over their lifetime. Now that sounds insane. People are going to be like, Andrew, come on, dude. I'm not spending that much in fees. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But they interviewed the people and they said, okay, how much do you think you're spending in fees? And they said, on average, probably 28 grand over my lifetime. Talk about a miss. 1.1 million on average. That's insane. So you gotta avoid fees. That's the first landmine. Pay as little in fees as possible. Number two, taxes, right? Taxes are a pain in the butt, but taxes will be here. And unfortunately, taxes are going up. And so if you don't have a strategy for taxes, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And that is so true when it comes to taxes. So we want to help you create a tax strategy. A lot of people don't though. Their advisors don't talk about taxes. They don't talk about Roth conversions. They don't talk about some of the, using IRS tax codes like 7702 to avoid paying taxes in the future. So taxes is the second landmine that people are unaware of. The third landmine, Danielle, is market volatility. It is what it is. As geopolitics and as our administrations get more and more naive and mismanage our resources and make bad decisions, we're going to see more market volatility. With the ebbs and the flows of the rates, we're going to see market volatility. With the demographic problem that we have, a lot of people don't understand that the older a country gets, the more flat the stock market will be. So if you look at Japan as an example, it's been flat for 30 years simply because their demographics are so cattywampus, right? They're so backwards that they have too many old people and not enough young people to work and pay taxes, right? Europe's the same way. Europe's stock market has been flat for 2 decades. We're in a demographic crisis right now where we have such a swelling elderly population, we don't have enough taxpayers to kind of offset the rising costs of entitlement programs. That affects the market. So we're going to see market volatility. The fourth landmine, Social Security. Might as well call it social insecurity. Social Security will be cut by 1/3 in 2033. And it is unfortunate, and it's going to take millions of Americans by surprise unless there's massive reform. And it's a political hot potato. Nobody wants to deal with raising taxes, extending full retirement age, etc. So that has to be factored in. It's a big landmine that's hidden. Number 5 is long-term care. You've got to have a plan for long-term care. It's the #1 cause of bankruptcy in America. 7 out of 10 people will find themselves in a long-term care situation before they pass. That is the 5th landmine. The 6th landmine, excessive optimism regarding market returns and inflation. Advisors are notorious for this, where they just come up with these numbers that are not accurate. They're red herrings. They're based upon, a century worth of details that are no longer applicable. And then number 7, the 7th landmine, is running out of money. If you don't have a proper income plan that's guaranteed and bulletproof, you could run out of money before you run out of life. And then you're the unlucky few who has to go back to work and go to Starbucks and report to some purple-haired weirdo with a face tattoo and a lip ring that's your boss now. And
I
that's your
mean-
future because you didn't plan. So avoid those 7 landmines.
We were talking about the 7 landmines. You walked us through all 7 of them, which I appreciate. We want to make sure that we're not overlooking any of them.
Right.
Now, what are the resources that you have for this?
Well, we've got a lot. In fact, we compiled a library for all of you to be able to enjoy. The first thing that I want to talk about is my first book that I wrote called The Joseph Strategy. The Joseph Strategy is based upon the greatest financial advisor to ever live, in my opinion, Joseph in the Bible. If you're familiar with the story of Joseph, God gave him wisdom on how to prepare for a really bad season of famine. And because of his strategies, not only did it save Egypt, it saved the known world. And so we built our entire firm off of the Joseph Strategy. It's a 5-step game plan to achieve the retirement of your dreams in any economic climate. This is a really powerful book. It's an easy read. It's got some really big gold nuggets. So you're gonna get that. The second thing I want to draw your attention to is Her Safe Retirement. Now, it is what it is. According to Allianz, 4 out of 5 men die married. I don't know what it is about us guys, but we die first, right?
I'm sorry to break it to you.
We eat too much
Andrew.
Nashville hot chicken. I mean, we're, playing, hot potato with dynamite. We're doing backflip gainers off of ladders. We die first, right? So 4 out of 5 women will die single, whereas 4 out of 5 men will die married. And so that's a problem. And so Her Safe Retirement is 7 strategies for women to retire safely and comfortably. If you happen to be the 80% of women who will pass away single, divorced, or widowed, there's going to be a season in your life where you're going to have to make financial decisions for yourself. Women are most vulnerable to making mistakes and end up having to go back to work more often than guys do. So we want to get this into your hands, whether it's for you or for a loved one. Her Safe Retirement is a wonderful book. It just came out recently. You're going to want to get your hands on that. I did another book, Danielle, and a lot of people in Tennessee are not happy about this, but it's called Escape to Tennessee: The Pros and Cons of Retiring in Tennessee. Now, a lot of people are frustrated because they're like, Andrew, we're trying to keep this the best kept secret ever. You need to be dissuading people from moving here, not persuading people. So these are the pros and cons of retiring in Tennessee, whether you have a business, whether you are still working or you are already retired. These are the pros and the cons of retiring in Tennessee. It's a really good book. Additionally, in the library, you're going to get my latest movie, The Retirement Deception. Now, this is actually a Hollywood film. It is rated PG for mild language. So I know we're in the Bible Belt. I don't want anybody turning into a pumpkin if they hear a bad word. But this is The Retirement Deception. Now, what's so cool about this, my mom's in the film. I'm actually in the film as well.
Ew.
But in this film, it exposes the truth about retirement success. And it showcases how do people achieve the retirement of their dreams? What does that look like practically? What did you do? What did you not do? And we didn't pay anybody anything. These aren't paid actors. We didn't tell them what to say. This is just good people around the country giving honest feedback about how they obtain the retirement of their dreams. So you're going to want to get your hands on that. Now, for those of you guys who book an appointment at our office in Brentwood, we are going to give you a couple resources. The first thing that you've got to have is you've got to have a tax report run. You need to know exactly how much you can anticipate spending in taxes in retirement. And is there anything that we can do to make that better, to get those taxes lower, right? That's the first thing. This is probably even more important. We're going to create a bulletproof retirement income plan for you. What this does is that this shows you exactly how much you can anticipate spending in retirement. Do you have surplus every month? Do you have deficit? Do you run out of money at a certain age? We're going to factor in all the worst case scenarios. So Social Security gets cut by 1/3 in 2033, a very high inflation rate. What if there's a long-term care event? So you'll be able to see exactly what life is going to look like on out to 100 without any emotion, and you'll be able to see where you're at. And then we can make our recommendations from there. But this is so powerful because if this works, right, with the worst case scenario, then if the worst case scenario doesn't happen, as I say, it's going to be rivers of gravy in retirement. It's going to be a lot better. It's only going to get better for you in your future. So we've got tons of resources. Take advantage of it. We don't know what the future holds. We know who holds the future.
Right.
But we've got to do our part. Don't procrastinate. Make this a priority. I think you'll be very, very pleased.